Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. My name is Frozen, and today we'll be team on with our little kind of ladder climb, I guess you can call it. I said, yeah, we're kind of doing the core decks at the moment, just going through those, playing kind of each of them one at a time. I think is the best thing. Give a bit of the feel of all the decks and see which I kind of gel with the most. So let's jump in with the Warrior.
Garrosh versus Jaina.
Okay, against a mage this time round, which can be quite good for me, because I can maybe out-armor some of their spells, and sort of trying to generate value that way. I think tossing the Deathwing is a good idea, and the shield block at least early. We'll keep the Darius, because that can be quite a problem card for my opponents to deal with, and we'll keep the Fiery War Axe. And I've got two of them. Just I thought it would be a good idea, but turns out it probably isn't so much. Just the fact that mage can really kind of snowball off early game minions, so I kind of wanted to keep that there. But yeah, I mean, as far as some of the decks go, I'm not expecting to see like that many decks. I'm expecting to see quite a lot of new people, especially release of an expansion. So people probably playing decks that aren't really that efficient in the grander scheme of things. Where it tends to be a bit more of a late game deck, so don't be afraid to use your hero power to try and stave off some aggression that way. Maybe you don't have to deal with the minions, but you know, spells, maybe being a little bit more greedier in the long run, because you do have some health gain with the decks as well, and that ball clears also. As my opponent is doing nothing here, I said normally the best thing to do would just be to kind of hero power pass, but we're going to equip the Fiery War Axe, and we're not going to swing with it. If I get a Swamped Ooze or Weapon Destruction, that is absolutely fine here. Like, I wasn't going to do anything other than have 2 health instead. So, essentially, it's one thing or the other. So, now that we've already played against this deck, most likely it's either an Explosive Trap or a Counterspell. And again, you can see kind of with this deck tracker we've got here, kind of what the spells could be in the long run. I'm probably going on the idea that it's probably more like an explosive runes, because I've got the coin, so they shouldn't be playing into that if it is the case. So we'll play this. Okay, it didn't go off, so that might be a counter spell. So at the moment, I don't want to play the coin, because if it isn't a counter spell, there is nothing else I can do instead of the play that I want to make. Okay. If it's something like an Oasis Ally, stuff like that, it's knowing what your options are available. So, judging from what my opponent's just done, we know this deck. Oh, maybe look. No, create my babbling book. And they didn't play anything, so that is kind of interesting. So, here, this is probably where I want to coin, because I want to be able, at least be able to do some damage to that. Now, I could be changing my health for the resource instead, which actually is probably a good idea, but I still want to play the coin because, yeah, we want to get rid of the counter spell. So that's what we'll do. Oh, it is not a counter spell. Interesting. So that would probably lead me on to the idea it is a Oasis Ally instead. So with that kind of in mind, 3, 4... Make the trade.
No problem.
No, it isn't. Okay. So, Ice Barrier or Vengeful Visage. And I haven't attacked their face, which, you know, is something there. So with this deck kind of having quite a lot of the basic cards, things like that, I'm probably more expecting it to be the Ice Barrier rather than the Vengeful Visage. Yeah, that's fine here. They freeze me, they don't get much control over that. They just traded that, so this is a great turn to play this. And that's what we'll do.
Rush the enemy!
So now we have a 6/5 on board. So this is probably going to get fireballed or... Okay. I guess it was not. And that is actually a pretty good draw here. Yeah.
I can take the hit.
So we're going to shield slam that. We're going to trade into this. And then we're going to take 4. And then we dealt with one of their best power cards quite efficiently. So that is always a good sign. And again, my Darius Crawley here is doing quite nicely. He's getting it nice and big, so he's becoming more of a threat to my opponent. Because by the looks of it, this mage is more board-centric focus, so making them either use the spells or my minions could be a problem.
Snowstorm.
Okay, so I'm going to do something a little bit unusual here. Because I don't want that to be a Vengeful Visage right now. Because I do have a way to clear the minion, but it's not going to be efficient for me. So I'm going to go face here. So as we saw, Ice Barrier, that's all good. I know what I can play around now. So that being the case, we'll do this. Just the fact that it's actually going to give us basically, you know, a free minion on board.
Race for impact.
Now push that face, and then we'll play Hero Power. Now my worry here is the fact that I have a Deathwing in hand, and I don't want to discard cards, but it's not something I'm playing straight away. There is the option, the fact that I probably wanted to reduce my hand size, because I kind of want to play the Ysera, which does give you, I believe, 5 cards in total. Which, you know, you want the hand space to get every last one of those cards. So, it's something to always bear in mind. So I can trade for both of these into that if I need to. I am most likely not going to do that. I'm going to use my Fiery War Axe and then execute it. Which is what we're going to do here anyway, unless we get something better. We do not. Now, the weird thing is I remember when I said with the mage deck that you shouldn't really overreact to threats. And this is kind of what I meant, is the fact that I have an efficient way to deal with that. Yeah, I take 4 damage, I take a charge off my weapon, but I dealt with it efficiently, 1 card, kind of 1.5. So it's not too bad. Now this could backfire for my opponent, but of course it does not. And of course they always hit my minions. I will say it now, that has got to be like the best one I've ever seen in my entire life. And it is so frustrating that happened to me there. So I'm going to attack the weapon first, kill off the minion, see what happens. It's not very Salite, so maybe explosive. So there we go, we prop the explosive, which is kind of nice. And then we'll just end turn here. If it is counterspell, I want to make sure that I can play around it in the proper way. They're probably going to start using the hero power to kind of deal with my minions. But you haven't cast... yeah. I was going to say, you haven't really cast any spells that cost 5 or more. So anyway, let's get the Gore Howl out. We'll hit that here. And then we'll also play the Laughing Sister. So this will basically trigger either the Ice Barrier or the Visage. Or Visage, or however you want to pronounce that card. I'm happy they're throwing damage at my face. Not happy they're getting other cards, but, you know, damage at my face doesn't really do much here. Because I've got a hero power, that means their hero power gets cancelled every... It is what it is.
I'm game.
Visage, there we go.
Trouble?
So I know they're playing that card in their deck. Which, again, oh, cool, it just kills itself. We haven't tested for explosive runes on this one. And we haven't tested for counter spell. Ice Bar has been tested, but not Oasis Ally. So what I want to do here, I want to Hero Power anyway. And I have one more Shield Slam, so I don't want to use the Shield Slam here. Cool. So what I'm doing there is thinking about sort of my later game plays where I'm going to need maybe other minions on board or things like that. So I want to double check what these are. Most likely now I know it's going to be a counter spell or something along those sort of lines. Yeah, I'm happy to sit here like this. I take one per turn if this is the way they're going to play. Like, I'm going to make them at least ping those sheep every turn. Okay. They didn't hear a power either, which is kind of funny. At this point, we're going to double test for the counter spell. Get it out of the way. Proc the ice barrier. Now it seems weird to use the shield bash to block the counter spell there. The reason I did that instead of like the whirlwind is the fact that your whirlwind kills off my sheep if it goes off. Like, these sheep are beating their hero power at the moment. Why would I ever do that?
I make this look easy.
So yeah, him here, we'll just do... Well, do I want to draw a card here? Not really. So we're going to go Ysera Awakens. Into Hero Power. Oh, nice. Slam into Hero Power. The reason I don't want to draw cards there is I want to make sure my opponent's going to fatigue before their Hero Power becomes relevant. So at the moment they've got to do 25 damage to me, and I've still got 5 health that I can kind of get from somewhere. And if they're going to start drawing lots and lots of cards, like, it's going to be more of a problem for them than it is for me.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
And I've still got removal if I do need it, and other ways to kind of deal with the board. Kind of annoying it picked the one I didn't want to pick up, but you know. Beggars can't be choosers. So, to be honest, there's no point in me doing anything else here, but I should at least take one of those off the board. Again, I should Hero Power here. Drawing cards is kind of pointless. And I'd be taking 5 damage per turn anyway, but I can kill it off next turn. So yeah, we'll hold. So this is kind of how you kind of win these sort of control matches. I mean, I haven't won it yet, but odds are looking sort of in my favour. We've got about the same amount of resources. Admittedly, they've got lucky with their hero power. But I think the two other biggest spells they've got, basically one was a copy that they already had, I believe, the Iceblood Tower, or if it wasn't, it was something they got. And the second one, like, at most, it's going to get the 9 mana spell. It doesn't get anything. So, yeah. We'll heal up here. I need to spend a card here, I think. Maybe? Do I need to? I will draw a card, see if I get anything I want to play. No, I do not. So that's where we end our turn there. I'm still taking like 1 a turn. So being at like 18 is pretty good. I'm expecting like 2 fireballs, meaning the fact that I effectively don't have as much health as I think. So this is a good card to play now. It's a threat they can't really deal with straight away. There is a point where playing the Deathwing here might have been a good idea as well. But I want to kind of save it for the removal, because it can turn a ball back into my favour. But definitely got that 9 mana Archmage spell in hand, which they might use it here. It's kind of funny they trade a fire sale. Part of me hopes the other card in the deck was a fire sale.
Not of cards.
So yeah, that's really good for me there. Here I don't really want to use anything else really, but I will play the owl here. If it gets out my deck, it may force them to ping it, and it becomes a bit more threatening. So it is kind of something where that's kind of what I want it to do. Because now they're taking 7 per turn, and I've got 4 burst from here. Admittedly, I do have the Grommash as well to play out.
You wish to match wits with me. Stay where you are.
So 4 damage it does. Didn't want to bang my face there. Interesting. So with this I've got 6, that goes to 10, extra 2 is 12 damage. I've got 16 damage burst. 2 fireballs is 12.
I can take the hit.
Oh, and this as well. So what's 12, 18, 22.
Kind of repetitive.
I love it when that thing does absolutely nothing and it punishes people for not remembering what spells they played. They take 3 and 5, which means I don't actually kill them here. I've got to watch out for what's on the board, so I will kill this minion.
Brace for impact.
Now, my only issue is I wish Dream would actually work on my own minions, but we don't need to play anything else, so that's fine. So they are dead next turn.
An incredible discovery. An incredible discovery.
Why have they been holding on to those? I'd have played them ages ago.
I'm almost out of cards.
But there we go, that is the game.
I can wait no longer. Back to work.
Kind of nice when a plan comes together, doesn't it? But it goes to show you, just like as much as like what my opponent was doing, they were kind of quite on the ball with their cards. They knew kind of what to play around. Admittedly, they did not get as much value as they could have done from specific spells. So they were just kind of playing them out all here, there, and wherever. But it is one of those things that even some of the core decks can win games, and it's just about getting either the right matchups or just playing it really consistently. If you do enjoy the video, do leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.